after 7 years of its release date. I just wanted to see if this phone right here it's worth buying second hand or third hand or in a working condition, or if you should skip it for an even or a better device. And as a spoiler alert, there is a big catch at the end, and I think you should stick around. So first I want to share how I got this device right here. This was a gift from me to my brother. He's an older dude, so he doesn't really need a Pro Max phone, and I thought that this is not really expensive and it's still usable in 2025 after 7 years of its release date. So basically this was a refurbished iPhone XR 64 gigs and with a new battery, which is an important thing. These devices are old, and even if you buy, let's say for example an 11 Pro Max, a good phone, but still a battery is a battery, and after 2 or 3 years it's not really that usable anymore. So I bought this to my brother, but I forgot one little thing, to buy him a case. And after 1 week, as you can see, the back is a bit cracked, and of course the screen was as well. I don't know if you can see right now, but it has a little dent. Maybe I will put some shots. He basically dropped on the floor, and it's interesting because the back and the front also cracked, so this phone was unusable. The screen was all black and didn't really turn on. The vibration motor worked, so the phone was working, but I couldn't really use it. So I had two options: to either change the screen myself and risk it for the biscuit because I never repaired an iPhone, or just sell it with a much lower price than I bought it. I found a 30 bucks used iPhone XR screen. It doesn't really have that many scratches, and if it does, I can't really see them. In the meanwhile, he got an iPhone XS, which is his main phone with a cover and with a screen protector, of course. Right now, the lesson is learned. This will be 7 days with the iPhone XR in 2025. Day 1. The first thing to note is the design. The aluminum framed glass back and that classic iPhone feel. But the bezels, they're kinda chunky compared to the newer models. Still, for an older phone, it holds up pretty okay. It's an IPS panel, but it's not the kind of IPS you'll get on an older device, for example the 2016 iPhone SE. It's brighter and the colors look almost as good as an OLED screen. But here is the first compromise that shows up: the display. The resolution of this device is just above HD, which is a weird resolution. Let me read. 7092 by 828. It's not that bad, it's almost full HD, but in 2025 we are used to Retina OLED screens. Now the pixel density, it's not that bad. I can't really see the pixels, so it's still a Retina screen. It has 326 ppi, but the biggest problem is watching videos on this thing. If you go on full screen, you will see the black spots really being a bit gray, not really black, because it's an IPS panel, so the black spots on this phone will be turned on comparing to an iPhone 12 and above, which has an OLED screen. So this is the biggest downgrade for me, and of course the bezels, but I think regarding the bezels you can still get through it. Like, I think you can get used to them. I mean, the iPhone SE 2022 has huge bezels, like almost like this phone, so I don't think that's a really big problem, but because it's an IPS panel, it looks worse than a newer phone. The chip is an A12 Bionic, which is actually really fast today. I was shocked of how smooth this phone feels. I didn't really had any problem using this phone. Everything worked perfectly, and this was actually faster than my iPad Pro, which is actually amazing. Everything is smooth, and even I don't think there is a game that doesn't really work that well on this phone. Maybe huge games like PUBG or Genshin Impact will chug or will stay at 30 frames per second, but thinking that this is a 7 years old phone, this is actually great. The cameras are not that great. It has only one rear camera, which is funny because the iPhone 16e launched this year, and it has also one rear camera, so you can say that the camera setup, it looks modern right now from that perspective. Of course, they don't really compare, but this has no ultra wide, no night mode. In daylight, you won't see any difference between a high-tier-old smartphone and a new one, but at night, yeah, not really that great because it doesn't have night mode. Night mode was introduced with the iPhone 12 series, and before that, shooting in the night with Apple devices or any device without night mode, it's not a great experience. But of course you can do it if needed, but don't expect 4K resolution to have every pixel in detail. The battery life is actually great for me. It holds up to 2 days because it's a new battery, it's a refurbished iPhone, so it doesn't really have that many cycles. I think it has over 30 cycles. Yeah, if you buy one, make sure that it doesn't have more than 200 or 300 cycles. You can check the cycles really easy with the Coconut battery app on your PC. Regarding the connectivity, it doesn't have 5G, only 4G, which is okay, but I'm saying this just so you know if you really care about this. The Face ID still reliable if yours works. Mine doesn't work because I changed the screen and I forgot to place some components on it, but it still works. iOS runs great, Apple Pay works. If you need a phone to do basic iPhone things, the XR is still very usable. I personally don't like the aluminum bezel because it's not the same color, it's more faded, but this is a subjective thing and doesn't really matter that much. If you look today at the iPhone 16e, which has a few things in common with this phone, there are only two nuances, black and white, and it's very minimalistic. I don't know if you remember the Fratiger Aero design, if this is the name. Well, it didn't really age that well. Everything now is black and white, even the cars, so... And of course, the question is, should you buy this phone? I mean, this is a 7 years old phone. Is it still worth it? It's still a good phone, it gets updates, the cameras are okay, are not the best, but you can still do the job done with it, and the speakers are great, it's stereo, it has some bass actually, it's still strong, it still get updates, it has iOS 18 and I don't know if it will get, maybe it won't get iOS 19, I don't know, but there is a high chance that it won't. It will still get security updates a few more years, and if you have one, stick with it. If you don't have one, don't buy it and buy a 12. Not 11 because the 11 have the same screen and it doesn't really upgrade you that much. But buy a 12. The 12 is so much better in terms of the screen, the battery life, the design also. I really like the rectangular frame.